Hello children, now this week I'm going to show you how you can do some different techniques and make a couple different things using clay. So I'll just show you some different types of clay that I'm going to work with. So I've got normal modelling clay which you can get in supermarkets and other shops, and it comes in different colours. And this is not very dissimilar to Play-Doh, but it's a different type of material. It's called a modelling clay. And this is a really nice one for building with. So these ones are modelling clay. And I'm also going to use some terracotta air drying clay. And that's this one. So I'm going to use that one as well. And that, like the name says, air drying, will just dry really, really hard when you leave it out in the air. So once the packet's open and you've made something, you just let it dry and it will completely dry. Now, if you don't have any of these clays at home, but you want to have a go at modelling with something, you could make a salt dough. Now, this is a really, really easy modelling material to make. All you need to do to make this, I'll show you quickly, is you need flour and salt, and you need equal parts. So I've got half of this is salt, half is flour, and that's all you need. Now you can put this into a bowl, salt and flour. Got this for mixing, and you just need a little bit of water. So you pour some water in and you just mix it together. Now it's a really easy one, this one, and some people, when they make salt dough, they put it in the oven when it goes to dry. So they dry it out in the oven, but you don't really need to. If you just want to have fun and just have a go at making something in 3D using some kind of clay type material, then you can just let it air dry when you finish. So you just leave it out for a few days and it will dry up anyway. Now I haven't measured out the water, but I can see, because it isn't sticking together like a clay yet, or like any kind of Play-Doh, I need a little bit more water. You don't need too much water, and I would recommend adding the water in slowly, because you can always add more. It's easy to add more water, but it's not easy if you've accidentally put too much in. So just a little bit of water. Remember, equal parts salt and flour. And then basically what happens is you end up like this. Let me push this together. You end up with this kind of dough. And what you need to do is take this out. And if you feel this is a bit sticky, you can always put a bit of flour down wherever you're working, and put a bit of flour on your hands as well. This is actually quite good. So you saw how much water I put in, it really wasn't much. And you end up with a dough like this. This is not the same as clay, but you can make a lot of the same things with this, as I'm going to show you here. So this is salt dough. And remember, you can put that in the oven. There's lots of recipes on the internet for that, and some will say put them in the oven, but you can also just let it dry out and you can have fun making things with salt dough. So I'm going to show you 3 different techniques first. Now the first one is just a simple slab, and I've already started this one. So what I've done is I've used the modelling clay and I've just pressed this down. Now you could use a rolling pin. You can roll this out. And when you make a slab, you can really do anything you want with it. So you can create your own design in here. I'm just pushing this one down on the table because this is quite soft, this clay. But if you want to roll it out, you can. And then you can cut this out into any shape you want. And you can create a design in here, just on a slab. Now, a great way to do your designs in clay is to use either a stick. This is one of those ones from the kitchen, like a skewer. Or even a pencil, and you can actually draw into this clay and you can create your own pattern, and it's really nice because you can create something that is a little bit 3D, like a model, but also you can do your artwork in here, and if you make a mistake you can just press it out like this. It's really easy to rub out. It's like rubbing out in clay, and you can even draw your designs in. Now, some year groups at school have done this kind of technique in clay tiles that we've made before. So remember, you can cut this out into any shape. You can even use cookie cutters in these modelling clays. They work really well, and you can create your design in there. So that is a slab, and you can pop your design there, and you can do anything you want on those, and that's just a really fun way of doing something simple. Okay, the next one I'll show you is a coil. Now, coils are great for lots of different things. You make pots out of them. So for instance, if you have a slab and you cut a circle out of it, you could have that as your base, and then you can make coils in clay, and you can go around that circle and build up and create what's called a coil pot. Now, to make a coil, it's really easy. You just get your clay and you press it together. You can roll it between your hands like this, and then to make it really nice and even, you roll it on a flat surface. So you have to roll it on a table. You should have some kind of, I've just got a piece of paper down here, but you could have maybe a piece of, maybe some newspaper or some plastic of some kind, or maybe a big sheet of paper is quite good as well. It's not too messy, these ones, but the terracotta, as I'll show you in a minute, is quite messy. So if you do end up using some of that terracotta clay, that can be quite messy. So as you can see, I will hold this up. When you roll it on a flat surface, against a flat surface, you get a nice even coil, like this. And you can do whatever you want with this. You can create your designs, you can build it up, you can have a go at making your own pattern with them. It's a really nice one to try out. So we've got slabs and coils. And then the final thing I'm going to show you today, using this terracotta clay, is a pinch pot. Now this one's really easy, and what you need to start with is a ball. So you just need as close to a ball as you can get. Now with this clay, you might see it starts to get a bit dry, it starts to crack sometimes, so you can add a tiny bit of water to your fingers, I would suggest, but not too much. I'm not going to put any water on here because it gets really messy, it gets all over your hands and it can be quite messy. So if you're doing this one, make sure you're somewhere where you have covered the area so you're not too messy. So to start with, you've got your ball, like this. And this is not a bad size for creating a pinch pot. It'll make quite a small pot, but obviously the bigger, it's a bit harder to make, and then you can make mini ones too if you want to. This is sort of a medium size. So like this, you need to get your thumb, and you have to push your thumb into the middle of the clay ball, not too far down, so you should have, this bit should be quite thick, and then all you do is you pinch around. So that's where the pinch pot name comes from. Now this clay is getting a tiny bit dry, so I will probably put a little bit of water on this later, but I will just show you for now. You pinch all the way around, and don't go too thin because then it will probably break. So if you just make sure it stays maybe ½ centimetre, maybe a little bit less would still be okay. And then you can shape your pot. So you can make your own little pot quite easily just using the ball, push your thumb in and pinch around, and you have a pinch pot. Now one thing you can do for this pinch pot, you can turn it upside down and you can see where the cracks are. So if I put a little bit of water on my fingers and just smooth it over, the cracks actually disappear. So it just gets rid of the dry parts of clay. So you can do that. Now you can do this, and then while it's upside down, you can draw a design in. So you can use a pencil and or a stick again, and you can draw a design in. And I'll show you one up here that I've done. So you can have a go at doing that and create your own design. But also you can paint these when they're dry. So if you have some acrylic paints, you can paint these as well when they've dried. So I hope you have fun experimenting with different clay techniques this week, and you enjoy practicing a few of these different techniques that you can use either in your own work just for fun, Or and maybe as part of one of your lessons you can make something 3D in one of these types of clay, or even the salt dough if you have a go at making that. Have fun and see you next week. Bye!